What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Getting into this episode of GH, let me just say this: Maxie and Brooklyn, that's a hell of a dynamic. The two of them. Never thought I would see the two of them teaming up for what they feel is the greater good. But my thing is, their plan is gonna backfire. It's gonna backfire. I have that feeling. Like I said, I think it'll work for a time, but after a little while, it's gonna be backfire. It's gonna backfire because my thing is with Maxie, I understand she's desperate to keep Peter away from this baby. I get it, but she is exhibiting reckless behavior in the same breath because if you all recall, she tried to pass Georgie off as Lulu and Dante's, and we all know how that ended. And that's the reason why, to this day, Spinelli still has majority custody. Um, it was reckless, very reckless, and even the judge felt that way. Um, I have a feeling that she's being reckless again because now you're talking about handing the child over to Brook Lynn, and with Valentine acting as the father. So even if it's for the greater good, what if when Valentine finds out that the child is not really his or Brook Lynn's, what if he's grown so attached to the child that he wants custody? It's going to be another custody battle. Well, it could potentially be a custody battle. And you know how judges can be unpredictable. Like, I just think Maxie's setting herself up for more heartbreak. Like, she might want to pump her brakes and think about this one. Um, Brooklyn is another one. She might want to think about this because even though Valentine has been mellowed a bit lately, we all know that he has a petulance for vengeance. So she better pray that when the truth comes out, and I say when because we all know that it will, she better hope that Valentine can forgive and forget. Because we all know he sure as hell doesn't know how to forgive and forget. But I hope in his new mellow state these days that he can. Especially if, you know, he figures that, Maxie was just trying to protect the child from Peter. Maybe he'll understand and maybe, but he'll give the child back and whatnot. But Brooklyn, her trying to dupe him out of those ELQ shares, I think is going to have a negative effect. I feel like he's definitely going to want vengeance. Maybe I could be wrong, but we all know Valentine is, he is the child of Helena, so he could be a vengeful little son of a bee. But I just feel like this is not going to end too good. So anyway, moving on from that, Cyrus, as usual, is like a cockroach. This man lurks in corners and he just pops up like the boogeyman. Um, he's definitely on to Brit now. He knows that she's been hanging around Jason a lot lately, and she's been trying to look into files that pertain to his new drug and all that stuff. Um, so Brooklyn. So Brit had she had no choice but to tell Jason. She was like, "Yeah, like Cyrus is suspicious of me. Here go Carly." She wants Brit to continue to help her and Jason. Jason was like, "Hell no." Jason was like, "No, mm-mm." He want to pull Brit out of this because Cyrus is already suspicious of her. He doesn't want to he doesn't want to compromise her any further than she already is, and he knows that how Cyrus is. He's trying to protect her. But Brit, she's gonna, of course she's gonna continue to help Jason and stuff any way that she can. I was like, damn, Carly. I mean, I understand where Carly coming from. Like, this is, they're in a dire situation here. I mean, she's pissed that Jason's not trying to break out of that place, but Jason wants her to be patient. But I get where Carly's coming from. It's like patience right now is not an option. It's not a virtue right now. They can't afford to be patient. They gotta move. Um, so I totally understand. But at the same time, I get where Jason's coming from, involving Brit in all of this, even though she's pretty much already compromised at this point, could be bad for her health. You know what I mean? Like, literally. Because she's already having health problems. Plus, Cyrus, we all know he's not above killing people. So he could easily kill Brit ass. You know what I mean? And Jason trying to protect his book. So I don't blame him. Um, but Jason felt like he had no choice but to go along with Carly's plan. I feel like Carly's plan might end up getting Brit killed. I hope not. But I feel like with Carly's plan, even though it's necessary in a way, it still, can have some casualties to it. And I would hate for that to happen, especially to Brit. It's like, I love me some Brit. I don't want to see her get capped. We shall see with this plan on, how this plan unfolds. Hopefully it goes off without a hitch, but we all know it more than likely it won't. So anyway, I'm getting so sick and tired of Cyrus trying to issue warnings and threats, because his warning to Laura definitely sounded like a threat to me. Like, he's basically telling her to choose a side and stop being so judgmental of him, because she want him to be legitimate, And he's basically telling her that very soon she's going to have to pick a side, because he wants to be siblings with her. He wants to have a relationship with her. But if she keeps being on the opposite side of him, it may be some consequences for that. I just wish that Laura could find a way to shut him down as mayor. And I don't blame Laura for telling him to go legit, because I think if Cyrus goes legit, I think it might go a long way with Laura maybe softening towards him. But she's still not going to forget what he did to her daughter. He's the reason Lulu's in a coma right now, missing out on time with her kids. Like, she's losing time in her life because of him. So I don't see Laura ever forgiving that. And he keeps talking about, oh, well, you need to pick a side. I believe she already picked it. It's not about her being judgmental. At the end of the day, she's the mayor. You're a criminal. That's not being judgmental. That's her being on the opposite side of what you're on. You know what I'm saying? She's duty bound. And besides, Laura's a genuinely good person. She's not about to sit there and let him poison her town. A town that she holds dear to her. A town that her grandchildren live in. She's not about to let him poison that. There's no way in the world. So if he's talking about picking sides, well, I guess she already picked it, bro. Get over it. Like, I understand, that Liz definitely deserves to know who really killed her husband. But like I said yesterday, I feel like they can't tell Liz right now because, A, of how she may react to it, she may go confront Peter, which could be, fatal for her. Because we all know if anybody gets in Peter's face, he's going to try to shut them down. Also, they have no proof that he killed Franco, and that's what they're still trying to gather. So for her to sit there and demand answers from Finn about what was in the vial that he gave Chase, my thing is, as a nurse, you know what I'm saying, I get it, she wants to know because it's her job or whatever, but at the same time, you are not Finn's boss. You are a nurse. You are not his boss. You are not a doctor. You are not a chief of staff. For you to demand answers, I'm like, if you asked him, he more than likely still wouldn't have told you, but that's his prerogative. He's a doctor, But at the same time, I understand her asking because, she's the nurse, she's Chase's nurse or whatever. She doesn't want anything falling back on her. I get that. But, it's still not your place to demand answers from a doctor. You know what I mean? Like, stay in your pay grade. I'm just saying, like, stay in your lane before you fuck around and get fired. Like, just relax. And of course, Finn totally just ignored her, like, because he wasn't trying to explain a damn thing to her at that point. And he just basically sent her away. And he was talking to Chase and stuff, and Chase finally started to wake up because Finn wants to make up for lost time. I can't wait for Finn to find out that Chase is not his son. Like, we need to put a kibosh on that and get that story taken care of. So anyway, moving on from that, Michael and Willow. I understand why Willow is still keeping up this charade that her and Chase are inching towards getting back together. I get why she's doing it, because now is not the time for her to bail on him in his hour of need. I get it. She made Michael, she made it perfectly clear to Michael that, she's still in love with Michael. Her feelings have not changed. She just, got to be by Chase's side right now. to help get him through this, and then I guess she'll tell him what's really going on. And Michael was telling her about his conversation with Jax and about him pushing for Nina to get more time with Wiley or whatever, and here go Valentine popping up, talking about, wondering about the same thing. And, Michael was like, mind your damn business. This ain't none of your business. And, Valentine, it is my business. We're family because of Brooklyn's baby. I'm like, Valentine, if you only knew. If you only knew, bruh. If you only knew. Lord have mercy. Speaking of Nina, my lord, this woman she just has lost all her senses. Like, she's basically refusing to go back to Port Charles because she feels like Jax is being vague about her time with Wiley, because she doesn't have any guarantees that she's going to be able to spend time with Wiley, and she doesn't want to go back to Port Charles to get her heart broken again. First of all, that's a lie. She just doesn't want to go back to Port Charles because she got Sonny over here. That's why she don't want to go. That's the main reason why. And in my book, you're basically picking, vengeance over spending time with your grandchild. If you were in Port Charles right now, talking with Michael, trying to work things out, that's her problem. She keep worrying about Carly. Stop worrying about Carly. Carly is on equal footing with you. She's the grandmother. I understand, Michael is a little pumped when it comes to Carly. I get it. He can be pumped. But at the end of the day, talk to him and talk to Willow, because it's not all up to Carly. Now that Willow is adopting Wiley, it's up to both of them. It's not really up to Carly. Yeah, Carly has some sway when it comes to Michael, but it's not totally up to Michael, though. It's up to Willow, too. So if she gets in their good graces, especially Willow, and we all know Willow is nice, so, Michael's willing to listen to Willow. He's not just going to override Willow because of what Carly says. If Willow doesn't agree with Carly, Michael's going to agree with Willow. So I feel like she's choosing vengeance over her own grandchild. And that's why I feel like at this moment, Nina deserves whatever the hell she gets at this point. So whatever befalls her, it befalls her. And I'm surprised Jax is not pushing her anymore. Like, he's sitting here talking about something, oh, well, it seems like you're happy here in Nixon Falls, so if you're happy, I'm happy for you. Jax, be quiet. Push her hard, fool, and you'll get your answers. You sitting there letting her off the hook. Like, he letting her off the hook a little bit too fast for my liking. I just don't get Nina. Like, what is her end game? Does she plan on marrying Mike? Even though it's obviously going to be invalid. Like, what is her plan? You can't stay in Nixon Falls forever with Mike. Like, you can't. It's just, you have a whole life in Port Charles. Like, what are you going to do? At some point, something's going to have to, come to a head. And Peter, of course, continues to be Peter, sitting there taunting and flaunting. Oh, Maxie, she's allowing me back in her life. Peter, if you only knew how much you're being played right now. And he doesn't even see it. That's why I think it's a smart plan in a way to, lead him on and use his affection for Maxie to get to him. Because that's his Achilles heel, Maxie. You know what I'm saying? That's where he lets his guard down. But he's starting to irk the shit out of me with his he's arrogant. And a lot of people who are arrogant, that arrogance usually leads to their downfall eventually. And I think that's what's going to happen to him, because he's just way too arrogant for my taste. Like, just way too arrogant. But anyway, this was a pretty decent episode. Hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode, and I will see you all later. Hope you all have a great day. Peace.